What is going on, guys? It's Ty here, and today I'm going to be giving you the secret sauce that will give you all the chance to make it to Diamond. This video is going to be jam-packed with extremely valuable tips that I wish I had someone tell me when I was trying to rank up for the first time. I'm going to be breaking this video down into 3 parts: pre-game, in-game, and post-game, to make it as easy to follow as possible. Make sure to leave your questions, jokes, and opinions in the comments down below. The comment that gets the most likes after 2 weeks will be pinned, and you will receive 1 full hour of my time to do anything you want, whether that be get coached, play any game you want, or just pick my brain about anything you're interested in talking about. Don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more content. Thank you for choosing to spend your valuable time with me. It means so much. Now let's get into the video. So starting off with the pre-game, I'm going to be telling you everything that you can do before the game even starts to give yourself the best chance of winning. The league is all about constantly evaluating how much damage the champions around you can deal to you and take from you and your team. You're going to have to learn what every single ability in the game is and how much damage it does. Mastering a champion with easy abilities to use like Annie will allow you to focus on damage outputs and matchups without having to worry about mechanics. Becoming godlike on one champion will enable you to gain a deeper understanding of the game, like how to calculate tower dives and knowing if you have enough time to kill someone and get out or not. If you never master a champion, you will never be good enough to efficiently perform these plays, and you won't be able to learn the advanced mechanics of League of Legends. When the time comes to learn another champion after mastering one, you will already know what it takes to learn how to calculate all the scenarios you will face in the complex game of League. Now that we understand how important specializing is in League, it only makes sense to limit our roles down to 2, your primary and your secondary. You're going to keep playing the same role over and over again until you can play that role amazingly while having one eye on your favorite hentai and both hands on your fleshlight. If you are only playing one role, it only makes sense to limit your champ pool down to 3 at the max. 3 champs for your main role that can fit into different comps. And in the case of getting autofilled, have 1 champ you are comfortable on for each role. If you don't get your role or a champ that you are good at, dodge the game. It's not worth going in when you are at a disadvantage before it even starts. Finding a champion that is strong in the meta and that you enjoy playing can be hard, and you will have to make some compromises. The best place to start is going to a site like OPGG and looking at the win rates across all ranks in League. Comb through the top of the list until you find a champ that has a high win rate and that fits your role and playstyle. There's a reason that champs have the win rate they do, so choose a high one if you want to win and get all the e-girls, or a low one if you enjoy having your anal cavity repeatedly stretched out until you could park a Mack truck in it. But at least you're having fun, right? Once you have found yourself a couple champs and a role you are good at, it's time to figure out what runes to take and items to use. When I am learning a new champion, I always head over to probuilds.com. On this site, you will be able to see what runes the pros are taking on your champ, and you will be able to see what items they are buying in every single matchup. Once you go ahead and copy what they're doing, you're going to want to understand why they're doing it. This mainly applies to items. All champions have about 10 items at the max that they work well with. The problem is that you only have 6 item slots. Each champion has 2 to 3 core items that you can build every game, but the remaining items are situational. This is where you actually need to evaluate what is going on in the game to decide. For example, always check the scoreboard to find out who on the enemy team is the biggest threat. Whenever you die, check the death recap to see what type of damage is killing you. If you are dying before you get your damage off, buy your resistances according to what champs deal the most damage. If you aren't dealing enough damage and you have no problem staying alive, buy more damage. If you are behind, in general, you don't want to keep building expensive damage items. If you normally rush Triforce, but you are getting sodomized, probably stop building it and look to tank up. If you deal 500 damage for 2 seconds, that's 1,000 damage. But if you deal 250 damage for 10 seconds, you can deal 2,500 damage, and you are there to peel and tank hits for your team. If you are ahead, you can keep stacking damage as long as you are tanky enough to not get blown up if you misplay. It's pretty simple, but can take some time to learn all the items and situations. When you get into a ranked game, make sure to look up your teammates and see if they are playing champions they are good at. If you get the guy that is going first time Shaco jungle after losing 10 straight games ADC, odds are you should likely dodge. You can even ask your teammates to play the champ that you see they have a 65% win rate on over 30 games when they try to pick something random. Lastly, make sure to turn off all chat in the settings and mute your teammates the minute they start being toxic. Leave chat for communicating strategy, saying good job, and nothing else. Pointing out a teammate's mistakes isn't going to help anybody. You are all the same rank and nobody wants your coaching, or else they would have hired you. With the pregame setup out of the way, let's jump into the gameplay. We're going to be breaking down the in-game mechanics into the micro column and the macro column. We're going to start off with the micro gameplay that will improve your individual skill. The object of the laning phase is to come out ahead in levels, CS, kills, and towers. There are multiple important strategies you will need to know to do this successfully. The most important thing is learning how to trade. If you can't trade, that means you can't farm, get kills, or take towers. There are three main ways of trading: minion trading, cooldown trading, and level advantage trading. Whenever you see that an enemy is about to last hit a minion, you can predict his movements and attack him while he is occupied with the last hit. You get your damage off, then back off before he can even trade. Whenever you have a minion advantage, try to take fights in the wave, and your minions will help you win the fight. If you have enough, they can act as another champion. Vice versa, never take fights in an enemy's minion wave because he will have a huge advantage. Whenever you see that an enemy has used their abilities on either you or a minion, it is crucial that you know the ability's cooldown so you know how much time you have to attack them without them being able to trade back. If you dodge Lux's Q, she can no longer effectively trade with you, so you can combo her and get out ahead. Lastly, when you have a level advantage, you are more likely to win the trade. If you hit level 2, 3, or 6 before the enemy, it is a great time to all in them as you have an extra ability on them. It can easily result in a kill or a burnt summoner. Pay close attention to when a minion is about to die and level up so you can instantly control level your ability and all in them. You are going to need to learn how to slow push, hard push, and freeze the minion waves to give you an advantage. Freezing the wave is the best for denying the enemy CS and keeping the wave close to your tower so you can't get ganked. You freeze the wave by making sure that there are always more enemy minions than friendly minions. The closer you are to your tower, the more enemy minions there has to be. Slow pushing is a great tactic if you are trying to set up a dive with a teammate, or if you are trying to get the wave shoved into the enemy's tower while they are there so you can base. If you slow push and make a monster wave, they can no longer freeze as they will tank too much damage trying to hold it. All you have to do to slow push is last hit the enemy minions only and make sure they don't clear your friendly wave. Lastly, hard shoving is good to do when your laner is dead, at base, or roaming. By successfully getting your minion shoved in and attacking the enemy tower, it buys you around 30 seconds to base yourself or to look for a roam to help your team. The best roams are usually to gank a lane or to get deep wards in the enemy jungle, steal their camps, and potentially kill their jungle. Make sure to buy pink wards whenever you base if you have enough gold. Only place them down where you can defend them or they won't get spotted. The best deep pink wards are over here by red and over here by blue. To prevent ganks, pink the river bushes around your lane or tri-bush. Always be checking your minimap every 5 to 10 seconds to gain as much info on their team as possible. You can get a good idea of where their jungler is going by knowing where he has been. Make sure to ping your lane when your buddy is missing, and make sure to listen to your teammates' pings when they tell you the same. Work together, it's a team game. 10 eyes are better than 2. If you get behind in lane, buy items that will keep you alive. Do not keep building damage. You will just die before you get off your damage and be useless. Try your best to farm without dying, and do what you can to help the players on your team that are doing well. If you get behind in lane, you lost your chance to carry in most scenarios. Don't be that guy that can't put his ego aside, tries to be a hero, and goes 0-10 building glass cannon, saying to themselves the whole time, if I can just get this last damage item, I might be able to get this massive nutsack out of my mouth that I've been gargling on all lane. If you tank up, you might even be able to get some gold and finish those damage items you were building in the mid to late game. Moving on to the macro. After you take your tower, you should be looking to shove into their tier 2 tower and roam to other lanes to help your team get the rest of the outer towers. Make sure to kill all outer towers before moving to tier 2s in most cases, then take all tier 2s before moving to tier 3s, etc, etc. You have to constantly be asking yourself, is doing this going to put me closer to taking an objective with whatever you're doing? If the answer is no, don't do it. Towers, dragons, barons, and inhibs win games. Kills don't. Always make sure to make monster waves in the side lanes before your team is going to fight for any objective. It acts as a failsafe if you lose the fight because the enemy has no minions to siege with, and it also allows your team to siege if you win the fight. All you have to do is get your minion wave and the same enemy minion wave to meet on your side of the map or in the middle and kill a few of their minions so you have more. They will slowly start to turn into a monster wave and start to charge up the map. The smaller the minion advantage, the longer the push will take, but the bigger the wave will be when it gets there. You can set the waves up like timers. If you need more time to set up the play, make a really slow pushing wave. If you need the pressure now, clear more minions and it will advance faster, but it will be smaller. Try to get your whole team to place pinks on Baron and Dragon about 30 seconds to a minute before they spawn. Too early and they can get cleared too easily. And too late, you won't have objective control. Baron can be killed extremely quickly at 20 minutes. If you have 2 to 3 pinks around it before 20 minutes, it can be very easily cheesed if you know a few of them are bot, in base, or dead. Even after it tells them that you just got Baron, they still won't know whose pants they're wearing. In the mid game, you have to know what your role is and stick to it. Communicate with your team through chat and ping so you're all on the same page. Devise a team strategy that will help you get towers. If you have hard engage, run it down as 5. If you have a split pusher, go with a 1-0-4 split push, allowing your split pusher to isolate 1 or 2 targets, buying your group of 4 a nice 4v3 at minimum advantage. If you have 2 split pushers, go with a 1-3-1 split push, allowing both of your split pushers to isolate targets, pulling more than one enemy to their lane, giving someone else an advantage elsewhere. Clear the enemy wards when sieging a tower, then get picks on them when they're rotating through the jungle. They will be wandering, no vision, face checking. You can get so many free picks if you're playing an assassin or someone with a lot of damage. Whatever strategy your team decides, make sure to commit to it together. You are better making a bad play as 5 than making the right play split up. Lastly, make sure to check the scoreboard to know who on their team you want to eliminate and who on your team you want to keep alive. If you practice doing all of these things, you will be well on your way to developing your own style and getting to Diamond. Lastly, let's get to how you can improve after the game is over, whether you won or you lost. This part should be pretty much the same regardless of whether you won or lost. In both cases, you need to go through all the stats of the game and make sure they are the best that they can be. Find out what your low points were and try to figure out why they were low. Also, look at your high points and figure out what made them so high. The first 2 things I look at every game are my level and my gold. They are the most important. If my levels are down, I look at my CS, then I look at my kill participation because they give the most XP. I then try to figure out why I had bad CS, if I did, and how I can fix it for the next game. Did I carelessly die when a big wave was about to crash into my tower and I lost all the XP? Or did I spend too much time wandering around? Did I stay grouped when I should be split pushing? These are the kinds of questions you should be asking yourself to diagnose the issues. Most importantly, you are going to need to avoid tilt. Without the proper mindset, this can be a seemingly impossible task. I used to get extremely tilted and I would put myself at a bigger disadvantage before I even got into the game. What you have to realize is that there's a bigger picture beyond each individual game. There are going to be games that are literally impossible to win. You're going to have an AFK, you're going to have a guy go 0-20, it happens. When your team is getting blown out of the water, just think to yourself, this is just one of those games. For every game your team sucks, there's going to be a game where the enemy team sucks, and you get a free win. So you get a free loss, you get a free win. They should balance out over time. That game you popped off more than normal, maybe the enemy team just played a lot worse than they normally do, and you got a free win. Those free wins in impossible games are going to balance out over your time. Where you gain LP is in the games that can go either way. Those are the games you have to win. Don't be mad about the AFK on your team at the start. Be mad about how you threw that game that was winnable. Then take that mistake and learn how to fix it. Every game you play, your team has the edge because they have 5 average players. Your team has 4 average players, but you're the X factor. You're a guaranteed player every game that should perform better than everyone else. So that statistically should give you an advantage to win more than you lose. If you balance your free wins versus the losses that are unavoidable, then all you have to do is make sure you execute in the winnable games and you will climb. If you get demoted, that might hurt your little logo, but it barely dents your win rate. You will bounce back like the positive win rate player you are. Lastly, if you lose 2 games in a row, take a break from ranked or league altogether. There is no rush. Rank's going to be there tomorrow, a week from now, months from now, years from now. When things aren't going well, you don't need to dig yourself a deeper hole than you already are in. You can come back another day when you're winning. Thanks again for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget that the comment with the most likes after 2 weeks will receive an entire hour of my time to get coached, to play any game you want with me, or just pick my brain about anything you're interested in talking about. Make sure to smash that like button if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more content. And most importantly, have a great day.